So hello everyone, this is me Shazan Ahmed and you're watching my channel Shazan Ahmed Official. So today I'm gonna talk about one of the most breaking things in this world or in this life, and that is heartbreak. Okay, so I can assume that you guys once in your lifetime, twice in your lifetime, there is no limit to it, must have gone through a heartbreak. Or when I'm saying this heartbreak, so I'm saying it in the context of a romantic relationship, right? We all go and enter into a relationship with somebody. We think that we are there for each other. We are gonna spend the eternal, this entirety of life together, and then an event happens and everything just like collapses and crumbs down. Okay, so I think you all guys must have gone through this heartbreak. Personally, I have gone through the heartbreaks, like, for, you could say, 4 to 5 times I have gone through this heartbreak, and it's very, very painful indeed. Still my heart aches for those people. Okay, so like today I'm gonna talk about a very, I think I don't know whether you would like this topic or not, but this topic is, like, today I'm gonna talk about again this heartbreak and its benefits. What happens when this heartbreak happens, and what benefit you can derive from it, you can extract from it. Okay, so I would like to start all these things with one of the quotes written by none other than Muhammad Jalaluddin Rumi, who was one of the Sufi poets and the philosophers, or a very big thinkers if you like. Okay, so let's start this video with his quote that goes like, you have to keep breaking your heart until it opens. You have to keep breaking your heart until it opens. So what does it mean? Like, do we have to take a hammer and we just have to start breaking our heart until it opens? No. So basically, let me simplify or explain you the meaning of this particular quote. It means that Rumi is saying, or addressing to all of us, okay, that you have to keep breaking your heart until it opens. It means that you have to get your heart broken by different people until it completely opens to the ultimate possibility of love, to the highest possibility of love, right? Because whenever we love somebody in our lives, okay, so if our heart is like not broken, so it's not even open, okay, and we just can't love that person the way we can love if our heart is open. Heart is open in the sense what? That I think to put it in a different way, I would say you this thing, like, I was like reading this book, and I have been reading this book nowadays, and the name of that book is 101 Essays That Will Change the Way You Think. So in that book, when I was like reading, so I came across a paragraph that says that the more capacity you have to bear the pain is directly proportional to the capacity that you have to experience or to enjoy the happiness. So are you understanding my point? Like, if your heart is like not broken, so it's not like open, okay, so you just can't love somebody. So in order to love somebody, you have to also know how to hate somebody, right? You have to, in order to enjoy that in order to experience that eternal happiness, that eternal joy, that immortal love, for experiencing such things in your life, you have to experience the heartbreaks as well. You have to understand these bad kind of like a feelings as well, these traumas as well, this little heartbreaks as well. Okay, this makes you very open. This increases your capacity to bear the pain, or once your capacity of bearing the pain increases, ultimately your capacity of loving somebody also increases, right? So this is a kind of like a thought. Okay, recently I had a heartbreak, and I was like reading this book, and that kind of like gave me some sort of comfort, that this quote of Rumi, where he says that you have to keep breaking your heart until it opens, gave me a kind of like a crumb of comfort in my heart, that okay, it's gonna be all right, there's no need to feel a lot of bad about it. Okay, but still, this is the kind of like a first perspective I can give you guys, that kind of like benefit you and at least give you some sort of peace as well. Okay, so this is the first benefit of the breakup, that it increases your capacity. This is the first benefit of a heartbreak, that it increases your capacity of experiencing the things. Okay, experiencing the things. So, and the second thing I would like to tell you, whenever this heartbreak happens, whenever it heartbreaks happens, it brings you more and more closer to yourself. I mean, this is something that I observed it very keenly. Very keenly, I have observed this thing. I still remember when back in the 11th or maybe 12th standard, like in the middle of the 12th standard, I like had my first heartbreak. Okay, and that was the first heartbreak of my life, and I just can't tell you how much it pained me. I was like so much consumed in that sort of, what should I say, in the tears, you could say. I was like just crying, the tears were like streaming down my cheeks, and it was just one of the most excruciating moments that I had in my life. Or I still remember when my first heartbreak happened, I just couldn't bear that pain, so much so that I went to the graveyard and I sat on one of the graves. Okay, so this is a kind of like a very bizarre thing I have done, but this is what it is. So coming back to the story, your heartbreak, the second benefit of the heartbreak, I would say, it kind of like brings you more and more closer to your own self, right? It kind of like makes you more aware about what do you really want. Okay, it makes you to look after your own self, and I think that is important. That is important. Before loving yourself properly or unconditionally, you can't love any other person properly and unconditionally. So I think this heartbreak happens, so it kind of like brings you more and more closer to your real self, who you are actually. Okay, and you also start to understand that making myself happy, making myself blissful is not my girlfriend's or boyfriend's responsibility. It's like my responsibility to make me happy, to make me cheerful, to motivate me, to inspire me. So ultimately it's like your responsibility, not the responsibility of your partner. So I think this is something this is a kind of like a benefit that you guys can also extract from it, that whenever this heartbreak happens, it just brings you more and more closer to yourself. Okay, and the third benefit of this heartbreak I could give you, okay, it kind of like I would say that it makes you I think the third benefit of the heartbreak is it makes you realize that whenever you get somebody in your life, whenever I'm going to have a relationship in the future, you are going to have a relationship in the future, or maybe you must be having a kind of like a romantic relationship right now. So as long as you have that person in your life, don't waste a single second, single minute, single hour, single day, single week, single month into fighting with each other. Like, fighting is great, fight for them, fight with each other, like fight like cats and dogs, but there's no need to extend that matter. Okay, because you never know what happens tomorrow. Any event happen and you guys are like become strangers, and that's exactly happened to me a lot of times, must have happened to you, or will definitely happen to us again in our life, due to any natural death, due to any natural disaster, due to any artificial disaster, and due to just like we no longer want to be together. So I am telling you, like the third benefit of the heartbreak is like it makes you realize about this thing, that you don't have to take the things for granted. You are having a boyfriend, having a girlfriend, go on date, kiss each other, hug each other, do whatever you want to do with each other, right? But but if you kind of like take this thing for granted, that this guy is gonna be with me for the rest of my lifetime, and I am or that guy is gonna, or that girl is gonna be for me for the rest of the lifetime, then you are kind of like in rude awakening. I also did the same thing. That's why this is like one of my regrets, that I took people for granted. Okay, so I think somewhere down the line, this heartbreaks makes you realize that don't take things for granted. Maybe you are having a very loyal, trustworthy partner today, but there is no guarantee that God won't take you, that God or this life won't snatch that partner away from you tomorrow. So the most intelligent thing to do is not to take the things granted, especially your partners granted. Do whatever you want to do and have fun. Ultimately, we all are gonna be separate. Okay. So I think this is the third benefit of the heartbreak. Okay. So these are the three benefits of the heartbreak that you can also experience. Or I would say these benefits can only happen when you have a heartbreak. Okay. So there is nothing wrong about it. I also feel guilty about doing these mistakes. Everybody feels guilty about it, so it's great. We are on the same boat, we are on the same punch, we are on the same boat, we are on the same wavelength, you could say. So just bump my fist, guys. Okay. And until then, to take yourself, bye bye and see ya. And one more thing, if you're going through a heartbreak, give yourself a hug. And you are not alone in this process and in this journey. Love you.